I think. Yay, I see eyeballs. Oh, that's bright. There we go. That feels more comfortable. Oh, goodness sakes. How are you, Ashley? Oh, boy, I'm like loopy after that meditation. And I have glasses. I can actually read now. Yay. And I have tea. Both the dogs and I had to go pay a visit to the, hey, Mama, to the privy. Oh, oh, goodness. Yeah, that was just such an awesome, real energizing meditation. But I kind of like loopy now. How are you doing, Mama? Oh, I'm not really expecting much of anybody. So you were both blessings to me and a marvelous surprise. Thank you for being here. Oh, I learned so much today. But I think I'm going to save the science and stuff for tomorrow because I really am just kind of like, ah, it's funny. If you guys didn't get a chance to go be part of Master Co's meditation, it was cool. It was really cool. I wrote notes from earlier today and I'm realizing I can't tell what I wrote there. But anyway, um, Mama, you'll have to forgive me. I don't remember if you were there last night or not. Ashley was for a while. I gave everybody a challenge to do a um, gratitude to think about themselves and what they were grateful for about themselves, and to make a list at night and then in the morning to revisit. Hey, baby, how are you, OG? Okie dokie. OG, did you get to do part of your challenge at all yesterday, last night, or today? Walter, you're on camera. Knock it off. Oh, got to tell you, OG, that meditation with Master Code tonight was just, I feel wired. Like I'm fully awake, which is probably going to mess me up on my sleep. Well, Mama, um, when you get done here, just get a piece of paper, or even if you've got like a small little notebook, and write down a list of things you're grateful for, but about you. Um, and so for I forgot. Did we say 5 days? Ashley, do you remember? Was it 5 days or seven? Well, it was we were going to revisit it on Saturday. That's right. Um, but Friday night and Saturday night, I was going to go ahead and instead of using YouTube Studio, I was going to use StreamYard so that people could come up and talk about their experience, what they noticed from doing this every day. So at night, you make your list, and in the morning, you go back over the list, but you take time to check in with yourself. So examples, I don't know if you caught or not, was, like I will lay there and I will just feel gratitude for the beating of my heart and for the breath I'm able to take and for the mind I still have, and and the love I'm able to give and the love I'm able to receive. Because, sometimes we don't even think we give and give, but we never accept it back. And it's a two-way street. Awesome. I love you, Mama. Whee! Ah, I see something there. Um, the energy from Master Ko's meditation tonight was just off the wall. Um, and something told me, which I should have listened to when I set the time for 9:30, that we were going to go over 9:30. Sure enough, it was getting too close to 10 o'clock. And while he was lecturing, that's when I zipped over here and went, oh, and Ashley was here, and I was like, oh, God, thank you. So, Ashley, thank you. Hey, Prince Daniel, how are you? Oh, how are you? Oh, now that's funny. Remember OG 2 nights ago when Charlotte was asking about if I was hearing things? And I said, I kept hearing Daniel. And then here we have Daniel. I love it. I have found these cups, and of course it's backwards. Um, that this one says hubby on it. You can't tell because my camera is mirrored. Um, so I'm drinking out of my hubby's cup, and my hubby is drinking out of wifey's cup. So yes, uh, I'm just loving my tea, and I am doing fantabulous, Daniel. Just fantabulous. It feels like, I don't know, like stuff was lifted. And oh gee, you could answer me this. um I'm trying to think, if I have a YouTube video set to private, can I invite people to look at it, or would it have to be unlisted for anybody to see it? Is private only for me? Don't you start, young man. I hear you down there. I will point my finger at you and wiggle. I was just wondering because, oh, but I know you can still see unlisted. I believe I read somewhere you can still see unlisted. You just won't find it public. Um, I'll have to check that out because I thought about uh, the meditation that was held tonight, um, which turned out, like I said, to be almost 2 hours, just like 10 minutes shy of it. Um, he's leaving it up for several days, uh, and maybe one of these, or I could send it to people. Okay, I was going to say because I could I could either like share screen and we could spend 2 hours one night or one day, whatever, doing it, or I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, and I may. I have. I think it's VSDC. It's a video program that I can actually copy things. I don't know. Maybe I haven't a clue. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll figure it out. We will. We will discover the secret. But I think we can all watch it because it's not sold. It's could do it like a hmm. Well, I know I couldn't do it in Zoom. I will discover a way that we can have a family night to sit down and watch either in two parts or in one part. Because there were lots of little meditations with um, the in between. But I really wish you guys could have been there. I think you would have enjoyed it. And I am so fidgety right now. Anything I'm finding on my desk, I'm picking up and playing with. Um, I feel like 20 pounds lighter and clearer headed. I don't know. So I'm just going to go on a tangent. Gratitude. We we started the challenge last night. So what are things to be grateful for? The obvious is a roof over your head. It's food in your belly. It's a partner in crime, or not crime, really. It's uh, the smiles people give you, um, the breath that you take, the beating of your heart, the sound of your voice. Think about it. I was 11 years old and I had a horse accident, um, and suffered a concussion. Now, here's where I was blessed in that whole incident. We were riding double, and the girl that was in the saddle in front of me, she was maybe a year or 2 years younger than me. She started to say that the saddle was falling off. She could feel it moving. And I was behind the saddle. And we were, you know, riding along and cantering and just laughing. And there was several horses, I think 6 other horses behind us, because this was at a Christian Commandos um, day camp, summer camp kind of thing. And we were riding, following everybody around, walking. But the last little bit, we got to canter. And so the saddles moved like this, but I'm going to go sideways. So we're like this behind each other, and she's moving like that with the saddle, but I'm going this way backwards. And I lean back like this, but I'm wide awake and laughing. And so I'm back, and then somebody shuts me off. I was turned off, knocked unconscious, we'll say, pulled out of my body. Who knows what it was, but I was no longer there. So I never felt my body hit the ground. I never felt the horses that were behind us run over me. I never felt anybody touching me, picking me up, carrying me anywhere. I never heard anybody trying to keep me awake. They contacted my mom and my stepdad, who I guess, I don't know, if, don't even know that they were there. But my mom related the story that they were trying to keep me awake, and I kept saying I just wanted to go to sleep. Just let me sleep. But as I said, I have no knowledge of any of it because they shut me off. And then, according to my mom, it took some. Now, I was a tiny little 11-year-old. I don't even think I was 5 foot yet. Um, and hi, Brian. But she said that it took some a combination of like 7 doctors and nurses and whatever others, all in the lead aprons, to hold this little girl down because I guess I didn't like people putting their hands on me. And according to her, I kept calling for my mommy. Dude, you're interrupting me. Thank you. Anyway, and when she showed up and they put the apron on her and she put her hands on me, out came expletives that I didn't know I knew. I told her to get her mother hands off of me. And she stayed mad at me for years for that. Never knew that until she related the story to me when I was much older, because I never knew about it. I was blind and deaf in the hospital. And if you've ever seen a movie where somebody's got their eyes wrapped and they're supposed to be blind, and so from the camera side, everything becomes fuzzy as they're taking the gauze off, and then the dart starts to get a little light and it's gray colors and this and that, and then it kind of goes from small to large. um, I didn't have my eyes um, wrapped or anything, but I was seated in the hospital bed. I did not feel the bed. I had no awareness of where my body was, anything. I didn't feel it. Like I can feel the chair under my butt right now. But, and there's meaning behind this long diatribe of a story. Uh, but at the same time that I was, because I guess I was talking, I was calling, I want my mommy, I want my mommy. And I heard the me. And it was when I heard the me that I started to see. So I didn't hear the mom, but I got the me part. That is kind of like when I appeared in the body and I could start to see, and then saw my stepfather there and my mom. And then it was like everything was back to normal. There was nothing wrong. Um, I had no awareness of anything from the time that I was on that horse's back until I opened my eyes up in the hospital. Or, well, I had my eyes open up the whole time, but until I got turned back on. And so that's why I'm saying be thankful for your voice. Be thankful, be filled with gratitude that you can hear, that you can speak, because there are people out there who can't hear. There are people out there who can't see. And I'll admit that that's been a fear of mine, that I may lose my eyesight again. So when I started having to wear glasses, that didn't make me very happy. Um, but there's just a world of things that we really should recognize and be grateful for. Because when it's all of a sudden gone, then what? So, Brian, are you staying out of trouble? And I know I say this every time, and I mean it genuinely, that I am grateful for all of you being here, for supporting me, for giving me a thumbs up, for giving me a love, for saying hi, for being part of this illusion, this dream. I love my family here, and I'm just grateful. That's really all I have to say tonight. All the things that I prepared for tonight kind of got blown out of the water with that meditation because it really did make me wonky. Um, but I will be here tomorrow night. I might even be here a little bit earlier. Hey there, Annie. I love you. Oh, having a side ache. And it's like, okay. Because I have a few things that I want to share. We'll thumb wrestle on that one, Annie. We'll see who does. Um, one little quick science thing. We talked about learning stuff, and last night was crossing the ankles to. Was that the night before? But we talked about crossing the ankles and crossing hands and stuff to synchronize both hemispheres of the brain, and it helps with the learning and retention and all kinds of other things, and calming you down, de-stressing, and all of that. Well, what I learned today was that, let me get my notes so that I have the exact numbers. There it is. Oh, honey, baby, I know that you are breathing on your own. Thank you. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for being a fighter. I'm talking to the chat like you could, yeah. Anyway, hello. But thank you. Thank you for being a fighter. Thank you for being you, for being magnificent, for being brave and courageous, and for daring, and for not giving up. Thank you. Here's something. So, this is a little science that I had intended on sharing, so I'm just going to share this part. We talk about the neurons. I got to watch a video shot of the neurons in the brain and what they do. And it kind of is like this little explosion of a central piece with tendrils off of it, and then one long tendril going off this way, and then another explosion over here of stuff in a tendon. And these tendrils kind of are wiggling like this and going towards each other, and then they start to wrap and bind, and then they're like that. And that is when you're learning something, and the the connections are made. And it was really cool to watch it in real time. So it takes, when you're learning something and the new synapses are formed and they're making their connections, about 7 seconds for that connection to, because I counted, that connection to take place. You have 100 billion neurons in your brain, and each neuron has a dog whining over there, has 10,000 to 40,000 connections in just that one neuron. 10,000 to 40,000, and you've got 100 billion neurons. Holy moly. If you equate those 100 billion neurons to a sheet of paper, and you stack those 100 billion sheets of paper, that would be same height as the distance from Los Angeles to London. It's like, wow. So we in this tiny little head, this little bit of space, we got an awful lot of brain power there. And you could see in the video, and I'm going to share it tomorrow night. It's what I think I'll do. I'll share screen on this one little snippet. You can see when a thought comes, how there is this like brilliance of light. Hey, Christina, how are you, sweetheart? Welcome, welcome. Um, oh, they also were saying if you scooped out a bit of gray matter from the brain as big as a grain of sand, check this one out, that it would have 100,000 neurons with over 1 billion connections. In just a grain of sand, a brain gray matter. Like it's just amazing that we have this computer doing its thing and it's responsible for so much. I have to go and search for it tomorrow, but a couple years ago I had learned about a doctor who did a bunch of these um, tests, experiments, because he had a concept or an idea about how we have impulses to do things. Oh, well, Annie, you'll have to share that. But anyway, this guy, if the name pops up, it'll regurgitate. But he did some tests and he gave everybody the direction that they were supposed to move towards this object, like to go pick it up. But they were supposed to do it when they wanted to, right? It's like picking up this pen, but that urge or whatever you want to call it, he instructed them, do it when you feel like you want to do it. And so they were doing whatever tasks and stuff, and he was monitoring the brain, and they showed that a span of like 15 milliseconds prior to him even moving his hand to go pick it up, there was an area of the brain that fired. So, in a nutshell, it shows that when you have an impulse to do something or the inspiration to do something, that actually before you even become aware of it, that, oh, that sounds good. Ooh, chocolate. That at some level, some place in the brain, that signal's already being released before it reaches the part of the brain that it's like, ooh, chocolate. Child, what is with you? Yes, I know we should be in bed, but you know what? It ain't happening now. But anyway, I will find that for you guys tomorrow so I can share that with you. And and it's going to be so difficult for you. Because I mean, it was just it's cool to think about it. We watch our kids, like especially little kids, and they may look at something, and then you kind of see the light in their eyes, like, ooh, I want that. And it's like before they reach for that thing, before they even turn their head to it's already signaled in the brain. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. So yeah, and you could almost consider that being precog, because it's before it becomes part of your awareness that you have the idea. You're already experiencing the impulse for that idea. So that was cool. I don't want to know who you helped because that's between you and them. But, whatever, just sharing the experience, what you did. Um, it's wonderful to be able to help people. Um, the truth of the matter was tonight I wanted to cover selfishness and not in the notion of being selfish per se, but the fact that we're dealing in a stressful time. It hasn't stopped. Um, you've got 11,000 uh, pipeline workers out of work. You've got gas prices going up. You've got businesses closing. You've got all kinds of stuff happening. And people are staying in a constant state of fear and a constant state of stress. And it's interesting to realize that when you are in a state of stress, it creates a it creates selfishness because it's like that last roll of toilet paper is mine because I may have a case of it at home, but I don't know when I'm going to run out. Or, paper towels or meat or, whatever. And then if somebody is like, well, hey, do you have an extra? It's like, nope, mine. We become selfish because we're afraid of not having enough or not having something. And another thing that I learned today that I found absolutely gobsmacking was that the world record for the longest period of fasting was 380 days. So this person lived for 380 days without eating food. I know, honey. I agree. Oh, well, that's cool, Annie. Awesome that you were able to figure that out. One of these days, I'm probably going to grab a pair of hooks and some thread and just sit and crochet with you. But yeah, what do you think of that? 380 days of fasting. Not saying that, anybody should go out and look at 380 days, but it puts a new spin on the idea of I'm starving to death and it's been maybe 2 days that you didn't eat. Um, I've gone, I think the longest I've gone is 5 days because I was bored. I wanted to eat. Um, but the human body is so resilient and we don't realize the fallacies that we buy into. It's amazing. The chemicals that your body produces under stress. Let me see here. So, when you are experiencing stress, your body produces 1,200 chemicals, becomes a factory. Like if you get pissed off at somebody, your body will create 1,200 because that's a stressful situation. Will create those 1,200 different chemicals. They only last in the body 90 seconds to about 2 minutes. So, in effect, those chemicals are what brings the rage up. You're faking it after 2 minutes. You should be able to go, okay, the chemicals are all burned out now. Why am I hanging on to it? Um, and then the contrary to that is that when we are in a state of love, joy, trust, gratitude, we create 1,300 new chemicals. And that is what improves, it heals our immune system. So I remember a number of years, well, it was a long time ago, long time ago, because it was when they told me I had cancer. Um, there was a man who locked himself away because he was given a death sentence of cancer. He locked himself away in his den for 2 weeks. I feel like Nixon now, 2 weeks. And he just watched comedies. That's all he did for those 2 weeks. He stayed in that room. I'm sure he ate and drank and whatever else he needed to do, but he locked himself away for 2 weeks, and all he did was laugh. And he laughed himself well because his body was producing all those joyful chemicals that healed the body. Um, what I want to play on that video that I was talking about is from Dr. Joe Dispenza. And there were some key points that I figured I'd share, not the whole video. Sorry, paying attention to dog, squirrel, that I thought would be, beneficial, because you've got people who are so afraid to step even outside their home because of all the stuff on the news, all the things that you hear. Um, and then running into people that kind of perpetuate the fear by making their statements and whatnot. Um, yes, you're just adorable. Uh, but anyway, the fear aspect is the enemy. Um, we can create fear out of our own mind. We talked about that guy who was a truck driver, locked himself. He didn't lock himself, but he got locked into the refrigerated trailer, reefer trailer. Wind either closed the door, or somebody in the yard saw the door open, didn't know he was in there, and shut the door. Anyway, the man died in there thinking that he was going to freeze to death, and he was scribbling in the dirt on the floor and on the walls about it getting colder and blah, 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 blah. And so in his mind, he was dying because he was freezing to death. And the truth of the matter was, it was a broken reefer. There was no refrigeration, there was no cold, but he believed to that degree that he made himself sick. He made himself die. They found him the next day, and the autopsy showed that his body had been, subjected to hypothermia. Hypo or hypo. I don't know. One or the other. That was interesting. So your mind can create all kinds of scenarios. For watching a scary movie, which I don't watch most of those, especially like the Friday the 13th and all that, forget it. And what was his name? Freddy Krueger. Please. I see enough things that go bump in the night. I don't need to have him in my mind. So anyway, if you find yourself in of being fearful for whatever reason, because you're listening to other people's points of view, check with yourself. Is this real, or is this my imagination? Do I have everything I need? Yeah, nope. I would rather watch comedies or even cartoons, and heck, musicals. As a kid, I loved musicals. But check with yourself. And it's like, knowledge is your best weapon. So go out and do research. And don't use the normal mainstream media, period. They've proven for a year now, longer than, that they aren't trustworthy. So you have to go to alternative sources and vet them out. Check. Make sure that, well, this is reliable and, okay, they're giving me the truth. Um, some things you have to be such a detective to find out whether you're following mm, somebody's puppet. Uh, Not to sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything, but it's like Snopes. Go in, and there are ways to check and see who Snopes is hired by, who Snopes works for. And Snopes is definitely somebody that I would never use for any kind of fact checking whatsoever. Um, they're in the pocket of several um, hmm, not so nice players. But anyway, so it's like, do some research. If you're afraid of the COVID stuff, do some research. There is lots of medical information that is not CDC. I'll tell you straight up, I don't trust the CDC. My anatomy and physiology teacher in 2000 or 2001, I think it was 2000, or it might have even been 1999, goodness sakes. But anyway, he came from the CDC, and he told the class all kinds of stuff that was like, oh my goodness, well, not going to deal with them. Not even going to listen to one thing, since they backtrack anyway. Um, John Hopkins is a good resource to find what they're doing on testing and whatnot. I have a gentleman who's from Cal Poly in California who's a scientist, and he's a actual his specialty is virology. And last year, was it? Yeah, it was early last year. He gave me a slide and showed me where the splicing was done on the COVID strain, and marked it HIV and SARS, what was there. And then through further vetting of his information, I saw that, yes, those two ingredients are in the virus. So it's like, just do your homework and be responsible for you, and don't allow fear to make you afraid to breathe. Don't allow fear to creep into the house in the middle of the night and make you question your neighbor. I mean, we used to be able to go out in the street and have a barbecue on the street, neighborhoods doing that. Everybody's so afraid to walk out, and I'm not suggesting to anybody to do anything you're uncomfortable with, but I'm just suggesting, do your homework, research. Anything you want to learn is on the internet. You just have to know who's in bed with who. Because, like, we know that Google owns YouTube, and we got Facebook involved here and there, and Twitter and Instagram. I didn't know that Facebook owned Instagram until like 2 days ago or something. It was like, so, I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff that you could learn and find out, the latest and greatest updates to their protocols and whatnot. Um, I'm leaving Instagram. I just haven't done it yet because I haven't spoke to the people that I've made connections on there to say, hey, guess what? I'm getting off here. Don't know what I'm going to do. I got an email. Here it is. But aside from that, I'm not gonna deal with Instagram's latest and greatest to tell me that my camera is their camera, so they can take pictures off of my camera. That if I have a Nest, so if the Nest had been connected here, or what is that one called, Alexa, If I had an Alexa, they could get information off of that. And I had no say in it. Forget you. So, yeah. You did, Annie? That's cool. That's my... I went to go do that a couple days ago, but I haven't finished because I ended up needing to go there to be able to connect to Uncle Paul and then to connect to OG. I think no, I didn't. It was circuitous. It was Paul and then Paul to OG, and so anyway, yeah. And you, oh yes, okay, little girl, my poor little girl. So in moments of fear creeping in and trying to whisper sweet nothings in your ear, cross your ankles. Cross your ankles, and I know it's going to sound strange, but the tip of your tongue, put it up at the roof of your mouth, and you're going to eat my hair. And then just sit there and breathe. Yeah, we can. I'll hop over on Facebook with you in a few minutes. But anyway, it'll take about anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes for you to fully have that impulse to dissipate. And you just want to take nice, slow breaths. Walter, you're too big to get in my lap, so hush. And then just do that. Just breathe. Just okay. So that way I can get her to stop bugging me. Maybe? No? What? What do you want? I'm not going to bed yet. Sorry. Just chill. Anyway, and then if you were there last night and saw about, which I can't do since she's in my arms, it's like put your arms in front of you, ta-da, turn them upside down, cross them, so one arm this way, arm this way. Sorry, nose itch. Okay, Gracie, can you put your butt right there on the keyboard? Don't press the keys. Don't sit still long enough. This is not going to work. I can already tell. Okay, there we go. Ta-da! So thumbs down, clasp your hands, and then you're going to pull them under, which I can't do with her. And you just hold them to your chest. And that's another way. And what it does is it synchronizes the left and right hemisphere. Yes. She's like, Mommy. And then if I say bed, shoo, there she goes. Beat feet for the bed. And since I usually try to toss them outside, the back door is right there by the bedroom door, she will zip under the bed so I can't get her, so that she can't be tossed outside. Gracie, can I put you down? I love you, silly. Do me a favor, please. Go on. Go in your hole. In your hole. Okay. Anyway. So, yeah. Real quick. It's like, do. Thumbs down. Arms over. Fingers clasped. And like that. And ankles crossed and just chill. 3 to 5 minutes. It lowers everything. Brings the stress levels down. Brings your heart rate down. It's a great way. Plus, it improves your learning. So I sit there when I'm taking my notes. I've got my ankles crossed. Other than that, I think I'm really kind of in a rambling mood, and I think these guys, if anything, Mimi. Well, hello, beautiful. It's so lovely to see you. Not that you're down there. Hello, sweetheart. I hope you're doing well. I had a fantastic meditation over with Master Co. And then I was a half an hour late here because he ran a half an hour over. But I had Ashley here waiting, and it was like, oh, cool. And so here we are. And OG was here, and Prince Daniel was here, and Brian was here, and Mama was here. Frugal Mama with boys. I'd like to see how you do that one. When is your next live stream, Mimi? Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I said, I was at Master Co's and it ran over. I don't think I know Mark. Oh, Mark Robs. Um, are you going to be doing a live stream this week? Tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, so that's 7 my time. Oh, so I can come in and I will do that. I will come and watch you. Matter of fact, where is that red pen? What did I do with my pen? Oh, there it is. I will write that down because otherwise I won't remember. Or I can't say I won't. I might, but I would rather be safe than sorry. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yes. So, all right, so I will do 7 Central. Mimi. Got it. Yeah, I'm going to make Pink a graphic for her depression that she, series that she's going to do. She had sent me the image on the cell phone. I have to go and check and see if she managed to send it on Facebook so that I could let me look, because maybe I can actually take a look. Open it up. Oh, I see what that is. Okay, so the image, I see what that is. Oh, that's going to take me a while. But I can do it. So anyway. Well, that's cool. I will look forward to being there then. That ought to be awesome. I do apologize for not being here at 9:30. And I'm sure, I mean, it's like, oh my goodness, it's 11 o'clock. So it's almost midnight for you. And if that was your husband with that haul, and you guys were doing all of the makeup, the face mask, that was so cute. I loved it. You guys were just awesome, sweet. What's tomorrow night's topic? Is it another crafting one? Gracie, what are you chewing on? You guys were just cute. I loved it. And I could tell he was a goof. Okay, that'll be cool, because So it's not crafting. That'll be good. I will be there with bells on. And then we're doing a challenge here. We started last night, was on gratitude, but it was making a list of the things that you were grateful for about you, you know, and then you could obviously move it, but more on a personal level. Okay, cool. I like that. I will definitely be there to see what else going on. I love to learn. I love opportunities to learn. Tonight's night 2 of the challenge, and then on Friday night, um, I was going to have some people come up to talk about their experience during the week to see what they notice as far as things changing for them in being in that space, especially when you do it first thing in the morning before you ever even lift your head off the pillow. So it was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, so a 6-night thing. Very cool, very cool. It ought to be very fun. And I'll get to be there for almost 2 hours because then I get to come over here and we're going to do our thing. And I'm going to share a little bit of a video, share screen thing on changing your mind, is what I'm going to call it. And now they're no longer bugging me, they're both snoring. That's just funny. I want to thank everybody for coming. And again, I'm sorry that tonight was not a full-blown devotional, I guess I'm going to call it, on the peace and on the spirituality, but I still had fun having you here. Talking about the gratitude. Is that what you mean? I'll probably be leaving before the end of your live to come here and get this one going. Um, but I'll be glad to do whatever I can if I'm able. At least I no longer feel like such a hot mess after the meditation. I was so wired and jacked up. It's like, what was that thing called? Red Bull. I could have had 3 Red Bulls. Okay. So you're only doing it an hour? Cool. Okay. Well, I will be there from at least year 8 to 9 because this won't begin until almost 10 for you. And I'd be happy to invite people over. But we're coming on to 1 hour. I want to say thank you to everybody. Blessings to you. Thank you for blessing me. And I appreciate the love that you share, the thumbs up definitely, and just your beautiful souls and your smiles. And just thank you. And I will see you guys tomorrow night at the real bat time in the real bat channel. So, all my relations, mitakuei washin. Night night. Blessings.